Welcome back to the IBFP. Here's your host, Foxy New.
Welcome back, fight fans. Welcome back. Fanboys, be advised, this video contains the absolute truth, may cause hurt feelings, and the need to thumbs down the video. Let's just be honest and unbiased. And let's just dig right into it. Deontay Wilder, he's been taking shortcuts his entire career, and let's just break it down with absolute facts and not feelings as always. And we start with, with Deontay Wilder. People were calling him the best heavyweight in the world. People are ranking him at the top of the heavyweight division. He's 6'7". He has a big right hand with elite level power. Deontay Wilder is in every fight he fights simply because of the right hand. He always has a chance because of that right hand. If it lands, flush. And Deontay Wilder is taking shortcut after shortcut after shortcut. And that's why his career at this moment is on the brink of collapse. Let's just be honest and unbiased. You see, Tyson Fury pretty much beat the Alabama slammer out of him in their last fight. Beat him pillar to post, won every single round. Deontay Wilder didn't win a round in that fight, didn't win a second in that fight. Deontay Wilder made every excuse he could think of, from the costume to his arm, literally every single thing he could think of. He gassed in that fight. He was getting beat like a rag doll in that fight, and Tyson Fury literally dominated him from beginning to end. I don't remember a second in the fight where Deontay Wilder looked competitive. Let's just be honest about it. You even see that he was beat so bad in that fight that Deontay Wilder is hinting that he's possibly going to retire if he loses a trilogy to Tyson Fury. That's how bad he was beat, because he doesn't feel, if he can't win a trilogy, where else does he go? He has nowhere else to go in his career. I mean, this guy was stopped by a guy who doesn't have elite power, and you're in the heavyweight division. It is hilarious to see that shortcuts will catch up with you at some point. Let's just be honest and unbiased. You see, a lot of people are wondering, well, Tyson Fury, he's an elite fighter. He's a skillful fighter. And you can't be mad that, or judge Deontay Wilder that, hey, he beat the guy pretty bad. That doesn't mean that he took shortcuts. Well, let me explain this to you. Tyson Fury is an elite fighter. He's a very skilled fighter. But at the end of the day, Deontay Wilder has been regarded as an elite fighter. He's been regarded as a skilled fighter. He has elite power in that right hand. He's 6'7". He should be no easy opponent for Tyson Fury. But the problem with Deontay Wilder is that he's taken shortcuts, and which is what led to him getting destroyed like that. If you look at everybody's history, you should be able to win a round against Tyson Fury. You should be able to be competitive at points in a fight against Tyson Fury if you have what Deontay Wilder has working in your favor. Look at it like this. Otto Wallin gave Fury all kinds of trouble in their fight. You look at it, Steve Cunningham gave Tyson Fury all kinds of trouble in their fight. Elite level and top level fighters can trouble you, can win rounds. You can lose a fight. That happens to every fighter at some point. But the fact that you don't even win a round, the fact that you're never competitive in the fight, that exposes you for being a fraud and a phony. I mean, look at it like this. Anthony Joshua, in the worst fight of his career against Andy Ruiz Jr., he still had great moments in that fight. He had a moment in the fight where he dropped Andy Ruiz Jr. flush with a good shot. Let's just be honest about it. See, you see that Anthony Joshua didn't get dominated every second of the fight. He did have moments of brilliance. Let's just be honest and unbiased about it. And look, let me just explain some of the shortcuts that Deontay Wilder has taken. When you look at Deontay Wilder, in 22 fights, this guy was fighting the 492th ranked opponent in the world. So you were fighting the 492nd ranked opponent in the world? That is disgusting. After 22 professional fights, that means this guy was being babied. That means this guy, was being handled with kid gloves on. So look, after 22 fights, you're fighting that lower competition, fine. If you feel like it's really early in his career, he needs more time, fine. Okay, I'll give you that. 10 fights later, he should at least really stepped up the level of competition. And you know what? At his 32nd fight, he was still fighting the 194th ranked opponent in the world, which is disgusting. 30 2 fights in and you're fighting the 194th ranked opponent in the world. No wonder this guy's not developing. No wonder this guy hasn't developed boxing skills or great head movement, foot movement, anything like that, simply because this type of caliber of competition, if you never challenge yourself, you never push yourself, and you never, strive to be better, you're not going to get better. Let's just be honest and unbiased about it. Look, and then after the 32nd fight, in his 33rd fight, Deontay Wilder won the world title, the WBC heavyweight champion, and then, immediately after winning the belt, Shelly Finkel, his manager, basically stated that Deontay Wilder will not be rushed to fight Vladimir Klitschko. So at 33 wins and 32 knockouts, he's a work in progress? Is that what Shelly Finkel said? You're talking about a sitting world champion with 33 wins and 32 knockouts. It's a work in progress. He said he's a baby winning the title. That's disgusting. Let him develop like any other athlete. At 33 wins and 32 knockouts and a world champion, he needs to develop, and he's a baby. That just shows you that these guys were taking shortcuts with Deontay Wilder. They were not putting him in with the lines. They were not trying to see him get better. Because win, lose, or draw, you can learn and gain a lot from those experiences and draw from them. You can still be a great heavyweight and lose. Look at Lennox Lewis. We just got to be honest and unbiased. You got to be able to put in the work, the time to grow as a fighter. And had he taken those fights early, had he, took those risks, had he learned from those experiences, then at some point the Deontay Wilder we see today would be a much better version of Deontay Wilder. Let's be honest and unbiased. And this guy was the WBC champion at 33 wins, 32 knockouts, and he was being called a baby with the belt. By comparison, Anthony Joshua was unified in 20 fights, and Deontay Wilder has never unified in over 40. Think about that. In 20 fights, Anthony Joshua was a unified champion, and Deontay Wilder, at 22 fights, even more fights than that, was fighting the 492th ranked opponent. At 32 fights, he was fighting the 194th ranked opponent, while Anthony Joshua at 20 was a unified world champion. Let's be honest and unbiased. We see who's taking shortcuts. We see who's looking for the easy way out. We see who doesn't want to develop, who's being protected, and who's being held back. We're giving you the facts, and if you don't like the facts, then you don't like the truth. Let's just be honest about it. You even see Deontay Wilder was wanting to fight Tyson Fury in more of a cherry pick fight. Think about it. This guy was so eager to fight Tyson Fury, with Tyson Fury coming off a massive weight loss and weight cut. But at the end of the day, Deontay Wilder, you had an opportunity to face Anthony Joshua to unify belts for the first time in your career, and you kept looking past it. You kept blowing up smoke screens. You kept screaming ducking when you were the one turning down contracts, when you were the one turning down career high paydays, when you were the one saying, I lost my pen. We got to be honest and unbiased about what's going on. This guy has been protected. He's been taking shortcuts after shortcuts after shortcuts. Even Deontay Wilder, after, knocking out Luis Ortiz, he said something interesting. And let's just break it down. He says, my opponent has to be perfect for 12 rounds. I only have to be perfect for 1 second. And it just proves that, this is why Deontay Wilder has never advanced in his career. This is why he's never made any significant adjustments or growth, simply because he believes that all he needs is that big right hand. That's all he needs. He's always believed this, because he's he'll lose every round against Luis Ortiz, knock him out in the last second, and say, hey, I won the fight, and learn nothing from losing all of those rounds. There was nothing he gained from that, because he believes as long as that right hand lands, then he's a winner. And the problem with him against Fury, what happens when the right hand doesn't land? What happens when the right hand lands and is not effective? What then? See, that's the problem with being a one-trick pony. We got to be honest and unbiased. You even see Deontay Wilder saying something even dumber by saying, why he never studies his opponents before he fights them in a recent interview. And this is what he says. And, he says, I never look at film of my opponent because I want to be surprised and I want to give myself a mental challenge in there. That's what makes this sport so great. So first of all, that got to be one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. Not studying your opponent, not doing your homework, not taking the time to invest in the sport of boxing, to learn from their mistakes, to see how you can capitalize and take what they do right. Because not studying his opponent is what got him into this situation that he's in right now. That's what's got him into this fight with Tyson Fury, where he was beat from pillar to post. Tyson Fury studied Deontay Wilder. You could tell, because he took his right hand away. He walked him down. He applied pressure. He put the weight on him. Tyson Fury did everything he could simply because he studied what Deontay Wilder did well and took that away from him. We got to be honest and unbiased about it. Only a moron doesn't do his research. Only a moron doesn't study. And Deontay Wilder, the level of stupidity doesn't stop there. He also says, he doesn't do road work. He says, I have an ability to get out of bed and fight. I can do things that regular fighters can't do. I don't do miles of road work. I'm blessed with stamina. He sure didn't look blessed with stamina in the first 2 fights against, Tyson Fury. He did not. He gassed in both of those fights. That's what made the right hand less effective in the first fight. And in the second fight, Tyson Fury literally wore him down. Deontay Wilder simply is trying to take shortcuts. He doesn't want to train properly. He doesn't want to study properly. He doesn't want to learn any new skills. Deontay Wilder is satisfied and content where he was as a fighter, and taking all of those shortcuts is what landed him in the position that he is today. Deontay Wilder fighting useless, idiotic fights, rematches against Luis Ortiz that are not going to make him grow and learn as a fighter. Simply, these are the reasons why Deontay Wilder's career has been destroyed. But once again, unbiased as always, it's the IBFP.